Hello, guys. I think it's time for a homemaking Q&A. I asked my followers to give me some questions and I picked some of my favorites. Some of them are more broad, some of them are a little bit specific to sourdough. So if that's something that you are interested in, this video is for you. And if you're not interested in it, it's still for you because everyone's welcome here. All right. So, my first question came from my sister in law. I love this question. She said, "Where do you get your passion for homemaking?" And I've been thinking about my answer to this question for a while. On both sides of my family, have just like multiple generations of amazing women who are just like rock star homemakers. So I've got like even back to my great grandparents, my grandparents, my mom, my mother in law, my grandmother in law, all of them are just like are and were killing it in the homemaking field. Um, my grandmother is probably one of my main inspirations. She um, was a home economics teacher. And so she just has a wealth of knowledge about all things that have to do with the arts of the home, sewing, cooking, baking, candy making, gardening, mending, all of these things. She will act like she's not an expert on them, but she is. So, my grandmother is a huge inspiration for me in that arena. In addition to my mom, she's like hostess extraordinaire and just makes people real feel very welcome in her home. And she's also a great baker and a great cook. I also get a lot of inspiration from the women in my church. My church just puts a huge emphasis on families and how important the roles of mother and father are. Um, so we have a ton of families in our church that are really, really big, and the moms are just joyful, engaged. They're just all in on taking care of their families. So that is something that I really admire. All right, our next question is, what is the hardest part of homemaking? I'm going to be honest, I did not think about the answer to this question until this very moment, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, for me, the hardest thing is probably comparison, because when it comes to homemaking and mothering, you can pretty much go all out, like to the nth degree if you really wanted to, and people do that and they're really good at it and they genuinely enjoy it. For me, I go really, really hard in certain aspects of motherhood, but not in others. And it can feel really tempting to just say, I need to give everything 100% all the time. And that is just not possible. Another thing that I struggle with in terms of homemaking is this is just probably like a symptom of ADHD, but like my mind is going a million miles an hour when I'm thinking about like fun things to do, things to add to the house, things I need to declutter, things that I want to do in the yard. There are good things about always having a project, always having something in mind and being a visionary and kind in that what am I saying? Being a visionary in that way. But sorry, my mom texted me. But it comes with a downside, which is now I can't really shut down my brain and have like peace and rest when I need to. So I would say those are two difficult things about homemaking for me. Someone asked about my daily routine. So I have two kids. One is 3, one just turned 1. Happy birthday, buddy. Um, Normally my kids don't sleep in. Boo. But some people might consider this sleeping in. Some people might consider this like so early, like the butt crack of dawn. But my kids typically wake up at the same time around 7. Sometimes my baby will sleep in. I don't bank on it though. I am an extremely early riser. If you know me, you've probably rolled your eyes at my morning routine before because my alarm goes off at 5 and I like it that way. If you don't like mornings, you're dumb. I'm just kidding. But you should wake up in the morning sometime because I think it's really fun. I've just been a morning person for literally my entire life. Like my entire life. I love waking up early. I make my little latte, I read my book, I do my quiet time. Like I love my 2 hours of being alone in the morning. So my kids wake up at 7. We do breakfast, kind of piddle around the house because my 1-year-old still takes a morning nap. So we don't really leave the house before his morning nap. He will sleep from like 9 to 10 or 9 to 10:30. And then after that is when we do like our outing for the day. And we try to go out every single day, whether that is to the park with friends or even just to Walmart. Sometimes we go to Lowe's for fun, go ride bikes. It's whatever. We try to get out of the house between the hours of 10:30 and 1. We come back for lunch or we do like a picnic lunch outside if it's really nice. And then nap time is between 1 and 1:30. And I like for them to sleep till 3. Sometimes they sleep later. Sometimes they wake up earlier. But that's kind of the general framework. And then basically after that, we do like unstructured playtime um, and wait for dad to get home. And then we usually do something else out. Sometimes we go on a family walk and then dinner and then bed by 8. That's pretty much it. We actually do have a lot of evenings where we have things like small group or just like dinner with family or dinner with friends. So yeah, we are fairly social. So that's like the general framework, but we're pretty flexible. The next two questions have to do specifically with sourdough. Someone asked me if I make my own starter, and I don't know if this makes me a complete poser, but I didn't make my starter. I got it from a friend, and I feel like this is honestly the way to go. I hate to tell you this. I would get it like from someone locally that you can literally just like drive to their house and pick it up. My sister in law gave me the most amazing hack for if you can't get your starter that's already active to like reactivate. That happened to me this month. So, Audrey, thank you for the hack. She did a 1 to 10 to 10 ratio starter flour water. So, it's going to seem crazy and you're going to be like, this is not going to activate. But I usually do 10 grams of starter, like a tiny amount of starter, 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of water, mix. You're going to have to leave it for like 24 plus hours. And also, you're going to want to put it like put your starter jar in a receptacle because it's probably going to bubble everywhere. But once you do that, you will have an active starter. I guarantee you. I've done that now like 3 or 4 times and it's worked every single time. So 1 to 10 to 10 ratio to reactivate your starter. I'm not the person to ask advice on for how to create your own starter. I genuinely recommend getting one. I had another question about sourdough, specifically about hooch. If you've left your starter in the fridge for a while or even on the countertop for a while, you get that liquid on the top, and that's called hooch. That is, it doesn't mean your starter's dead. Like you can absolutely revive it. The question I think specifically was, should I mix it back in? I say yes, but you don't have to. But the reason I say yes is because that is the alcohol that gives your starter and your bread that sour taste. I personally like my sourdough really, really sour. So I would mix it back in and then use the activation plan that I just talked about. So yeah, you're welcome to pour it off. You're not going to mess anything up if you pour it off, but if you mix it in, your starter is going to keep that really nice, rich, sour flavor. If you guys have any other questions, you are more than welcome to drop them down below. You can also find me at TikTok. My handle is han.fran, and then my Instagram handle is hanfran.at.home. I will link those down below. This was really fun to chat with you guys. Um, Let me know what kind of content you want to see with me. Let me know what kind of content you would like to see from me. I am so excited that you are here, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.